Have you ever stopped to wonder what your dog really thinks of you? Like, in their mind, are you actually a human, or just a weird dog who can't bark, walks on two legs, and never sniffs anyone to say hi? Sounds like a silly question, right? But science has some pretty surprising answers about how dogs see us, and they might totally change the way you look at your four-legged best friend. In this video, we're diving into the canine mind to explore how dogs perceive the world, what science has already discovered about how they see us, and most importantly, what that tells us about the unique bond we share with them. And did you know that domestication actually shaped dogs' brains to help them understand humans better? Yep, we're talking about that too. So stick around till the end, because you won't want to miss these fascinating insights. How dogs see the world. Before we even try to figure out what your dog thinks about you, we need to take a step back and understand how they actually experience the world around them. Unlike us, supervisual creatures, dogs live in a world ruled by smells and sounds. Their sense of smell is absolutely mind-blowing. While we humans have around 5 million scent receptors, dogs can have up to 300 million. To put that into perspective, a dog can smell a single teaspoon of sugar dissolved in 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. That's how they can detect diseases, find missing people, and even pick up on human emotions, all through scent. And their hearing? Also incredible. Dogs can hear much higher frequencies than we can and pick up sound from way farther away. Now, when it comes to vision, dogs don't see the world like we do. They see fewer colors, mostly shades of blue and yellow, and they're not great at spotting fine details from a distance. But they totally make up for it by seeing way better in the dark and being super sensitive to movement. All of this shapes how they interact with the world, and with us. They don't need to see us clearly or understand every word we say. They feel us. So when you walk through the door and your dog is already at the entrance wagging their tail like crazy, it's not because they heard your car or saw you through the window. It's because they picked up your scent in the air, even from far away. And it's through that unique sensory experience that they build their image of you. But here's the big question. Even with all those super senses, do they actually know you're a different species? That's what we're about to explore. They know we're different. Now that we understand how dogs perceive the world, let's get into the big question. Do they know we're different from them? The answer is yes, they do. But the way they interpret that difference is what makes things really interesting. Studies in animal behavior have shown that dogs can tell humans apart from other dogs, not just by smell, but also by body shape, how we move, and even how we communicate. One experiment from the University of Vienna, for example, found that dogs can recognize human faces in photographs, even if they've never seen those people before. That means they have a pretty advanced ability to identify and differentiate individuals from our species. But here's the coolest part. Even though they know we're not dogs, they still treat us like part of the pack. And more than that, they actually adjust their behavior to communicate with us better. A great example of this is the classic puppy dog eyes look. You know, that wide-eyed, slightly sad expression they give you when they want something? That's not something dogs naturally do with each other. It's a behavior they developed over time because they figured out it works on us. So not only do they know we're different, they've learned how to read us and communicate with us in a way that makes sense to humans. And that brings us to an even deeper question. If they know we're not dogs, what do they actually think we are? Communication between species. Even though dogs and humans are completely different species, we've developed a one-of-a-kind way to communicate. And honestly, that's super rare in nature. Dogs are one of the few animals that can easily understand human gestures. If you point at something, chances are your dog will look in that direction. Sounds simple, right? But even chimpanzees, our closest relatives, don't naturally do that. On top of that, dogs are incredibly tuned in to the tone of our voice. They can tell when we're happy, angry, or sad, even if we don't say a word. Studies have shown that dogs' brains actually process human intonation in a way that's surprisingly similar to our own. They really feel what we're saying. And there's more. They can read our facial expressions. Research has found that dogs tend to focus more on the right side of our face, the side that better expresses emotion, when they're trying to figure out how we feel. All of this shows that dogs don't just recognize that we're different, they actively try to understand us. They've learned how to read our signals, our routines, and even our moods. And the most beautiful part? They do it because they want to connect with us. Because to them, the relationship goes way beyond food and shelter. But if they know we're different and still communicate with us in such a special way, what do they think we are? We are. This is the question that fascinates dog owners, scientists, and animal lovers all over the world. If dogs know we're not dogs, what do they think we are? The truth is, dogs probably don't think in terms of species like we do. They don't have a biological concept of human or dog. What they do have is an emotional and behavioral understanding. To them, you are you, a unique being with a scent, a voice, gestures, and routines they know better than anyone. You're the one who feeds them, protects them, plays with them, comforts them. You're part of the pack, and often the leader. Some experts believe dogs might see us as big, clumsy dogs with a special role. Others think they see us more like parental figures, like we're their mom or dad, even if we're a different species. But maybe the most beautiful answer is also the simplest. They don't need to understand what we are. They just know we matter. And you can see it in every look, every wag of the tail, every moment they curl up next to you just to be close. In the end, it doesn't really matter whether they know we're human. What matters is that, to them, we're family. Fun fact. Did you know that domestication actually shaped the brains of dogs to help them understand humans? The bond between humans and dogs isn't just a friendship that grew over time. It's the result of thousands of years of shared evolution. Research shows that throughout the domestication process, dogs went through genetic and neurological changes that made them specialists at living with us. One of the most famous studies on this compared wolves raised by humans from puppyhood with dogs. And the results were fascinating. Even wolves that had tons of human interaction couldn't interpret simple gestures, like pointing at an object, as easily as dogs could. That tells us that dogs' ability to understand human communication isn't just about being around us. It was shaped by natural selection. Dogs that were better at reading human signals had a better chance of surviving, getting food and protection, and passing on their genes. Over time, this led to the development of brain structures that are more tuned in to reading human emotions, gestures, and intentions. In other words, dogs literally evolved to understand us. And that's why they're so good at sensing when we're sad, happy, or stressed, even if we don't say a word. They don't just watch us, they read us. That's one of the reasons why the bond between humans and dogs is so special. It's not just affection. It's a partnership shaped by nature itself. So next time your dog looks at you with that deep, loving, curious gaze, remember everything we talked about here. They might not understand the concept of human the way we do. They don't know what biology is, or species, or evolution. But they do know that you're someone special. They recognize your scent in the air before you even open the door. They feel your sadness, even when you try to hide it. And they celebrate your return like it's the best part of their day, because to them, it really is. Dogs don't need labels to love. They don't need to understand what we are to accept us. They just live in the moment, and in that moment, you are everything. You're their safe place, their adventure buddy, the one who feeds them, plays with them, takes them on walks, but more than anything, you're the most important connection in their life. And maybe that's the greatest lesson dogs teach us. That true love doesn't need an explanation. If this video touched your heart, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who loves dogs as much as you do. And tell us in the comments what you think your dog thinks of you. We'd love to read your story. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. And don't forget to give your pup lots of love. They deserve it.